So in my other videos, I talk a lot about how to date someone with bipolar, but I don't talk a lot about what to do if you have bipolar and you're looking to date someone, or if you're in a relationship, what you should do. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and just like a lot about my experiences too, and how I've just like been a little more successful than others with relationships. So to begin, um I think the biggest thing first in relation to bipolar and relationships that don't really happen necessarily in other relationships is that, of course, there's those mood swings for you. And the biggest thing is trying to be stable and like work on yourself, because you don't want to like overburden your partner with like all your swings, your issues, and like just like not focusing on yourself can cause that to happen. And I feel like I've seen so many cases where significant others of bipolar people are like, I don't even know what to do. They're not even trying to be well and they went off their meds or something like that, where it's very clear that the person with bipolar isn't disciplined in themselves to do what they need to do to stay well for their partner. And I feel like that's a big thing. You gotta try your best to like do what you can to be stable and actually try and show your partner that you're trying, so that you can like make it work better. Because believe it or not, like so many relationships fall apart when like one partner just, well, not one partner. The partner with bipolar becomes manic and starts doing things that normally don't happen in the relationship, and then the other person is like, "Wait, like this is not the person that I wanted to date, that I was like dating before when we first met," sort of thing. And like if you're not trying to be stable, you're going to become that person more often that you don't like, that they don't really want to deal with necessarily, and it just causes more problems. So that's the first thing, is just making sure that you're trying your best to stay stable and that you're doing what you need to do. Even if you get manic or like depressed, doing what you can to help yourself instead of just letting it go, not taking meds, like letting your sleep schedule slide, or whatever happens that causes a manic episode. Just like not caring about it will definitely not do you well. But the other thing that I want to mention is communication, because I think a big part of it is noticing when things are happening, and your partner can help a lot with that. Usually, if people are perceptive, they can kind of help you notice when your moods are changing and let you know so that you can adjust. Because sometimes in yourself, you don't really notice these things right away, and you can often like just let things get off control that way if you don't notice them first. So having a partner there to communicate with you when they think things are going a little awry, or just like telling your partner, "Oh, this is happening, could you like do this for me right now to help me," or something. um what goes along with that is also taking this like advice or constructive criticism in stride, basically. So like if your partner is like, "You should be getting more sleep," or "You should go to bed right now because it's good for you," or "Remember to take your meds," you can't get defensive and say like, you know, "Stop bothering me," or whatever, because like, you guys are a team and they're only trying to help. And I feel like in the past, especially with my parents, and when I was like first starting out with bipolar, I was like really kind of like ashamed and didn't want to like even talk about it really. Of course that's a lot different now because like I have a YouTube channel about this stuff, but I think I've gotten a bit better with that. Of course, sometimes it's like when people tell me things that I already know, even if I'm not doing it, I'm like, okay, like I get it sort of thing, and I kind of get a little bit like defensive, but it's something I need to work on, and I'm sure that everyone else here has experience with like people telling them what they need to hear at a time, and like especially when you're getting manic, you don't want to like take other people's advice very often. You kind of brush it off. But if you're still like in that place where you're able to, I would say like definitely listen to constructive criticism and advice when it comes to like maintaining a stable mood and just like mindset. Taking other people's advice if you know that they've given good advice before. um I think those are the biggest things, but of course there's all the other things in a relationship that I think are important, and it's just like paying attention to your partner's needs as well, because even though bipolar is really hard and I think a lot of the attention goes to the person with bipolar, you gotta pay attention to your partner too. Like, try your absolute best. Of course, if you're in a manic episode or you're like really depressed, it's kind of hard to focus on something else. But I mean, a relationship is two people and it's a two-way street. So trying to make sure that your partner's needs and some of their wants to and desires are met is very important, because like if you weren't helping each other out, if it wasn't a two-way street, it probably wouldn't be a very effective relationship. And I know that there are a lot of relationships out there that are just like unhealthy attachments, and like where one person feels like they need to keep giving and the other person keeps taking, and somehow it works for a while. I don't think that's healthy, and it just like the way I just explained it doesn't sound healthy. So I would say relationships work out best when both people put an effort in to make the other person happy and make the other person's life a little bit easier, and just like helping them through everything that they want to do, everything they need to do, sort of thing. That being said, in a little short while I will be moving to Minnesota, and me and Nick will be having a lot more time together, and we will be experiencing a lot of these things that make a relationship more like I guess a regular relationship, basically, because up to this point we've mostly been doing like a week or two at a time of visiting, and then like a month or two of just nothing, like just talking over the phone and like playing games or whatever together. But I think this step will help us develop our in-person relationship a lot more, and like make it become more normalized and regular, and get us used to being with each other in our everyday lives, instead of just being like, oh, I'm on a vacation and this is like a temporary, like not temporary, but like short-term visit. So I feel like it'll be a lot different when we're gonna be together way more often. I know that was a little side tangent, but that goes along with everything that I've just said. Like, it's easy for me to like try to be well on my own when I don't have to necessarily worry about every day-to-day thing that we're going to be doing together in a relationship. But like if something were to happen right now, I would be able to like only focus on myself and like try to get more sleep and stuff on my own. But when I'm like with another person, my significant other, I think it's a little bit different in that there's a little more to think about, and they're gonna be worrying too if they see something that's different. And I'm talking about Nick here. I don't know why I said they for that, but that's fine. I think those things that I've already said are the biggest, and I know I've said that already. I don't know. I'm just rambling right now. But in my other videos, I've talked about the number one thing being communication. But I think for us as the people with bipolar, it's like just as important to just focus on our own mental stability and well-being, because it's just so much better when your moods are stable and smoother in general for everyone else. So even though it's like you would think that would be a given for anybody on their own, it's really important when you're in a relationship, because you want to do what you can to make your partner's life easier and just have everything go smoothly. Of course, there are going to be times when things are a little bit more rocky, but if you build that strong foundation of trust and companionship and just like communication, then I think everything would end up working out in the end, because it's just building that foundation, I think, of trust and just knowing that you're going to get through it, and with the other person there with you this whole time, it's like it just builds a strong relationship. I know that sounds like really simple the way I just described it, because of course relationships aren't that simple sometimes, but in general, I think those are the biggest things to worry about first when you're in a relationship and you have bipolar. So I think that's it for today's video, but I will see you guys next week. If you got this far, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.